Hello, hi, how are you guys doing? How are your weekends? What's going on? How you been? What's new? Welcome back to the week. The work you did last week was really, really good. The shapes were beautiful. They were so nicely done. The line work was really good. I'm really encouraged by what you did, and now I want to take it farther, and that's what we're doing today. Today we're going to take what we did, we're going to take these things, and we're going to figure out how to make them smarter, how to make them faster, and how to make them better. Most of that's going to involve folding now. Instead of just assembling 5 pieces together, can we make one piece that can then be folded into a form? I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing it. One way will be physical and one way will be digital. Let's start. I made you guys a present. It looks like this. We have a perfect right triangle. We have a perfect right triangle. We have a perfect right triangle. We have a perfect equilateral triangle. We have a nice isosceles triangle, and what I mean by isosceles is this side and this side are the same, and the bottom is different. And then we have a perfect square. As you can see by the numbers, that's 1 inch across, 1.5 inches across, 2 inches across, and 2.5 inches across. I don't know what size you need. I just made a thing so you have all the options. It's a file on PowerSchool called Basic Shapes. It's a PDF, and much like last time, when you go to print, make sure you print actual size. It's got to be actual size if you want it to print the size that you want it to print at. Cool. Keep that in mind. That's important. Hi, back to me. What's going on? So this is there. Keep that in mind. I think the place I want to begin is with the squares. We've taped this all together really nice. What I want to do now is disassemble this so that we have a pattern. If you were really careful in how you put this together and it's perfect, then we can take it apart and have a perfect pattern. And that's really what my hope is. Watch as I cut this apart. If you remember how we put it together last time, it wasn't exactly like this. I think we had top, wall, bottom. I don't honestly remember how we put it together. But what we know right now is if we fold these 3 up and these 3 up, we can fold that to make a box. Let me show it in the other camera. If we fold these 2 up and these 2 up and then fold it like that, we make the cube. And that's really powerful. So this becomes our template for the cube. Yay, this is excellent. Hold on to that. And we can do it a number of ways, but we know that that's really good. This can become the template for the box we're going to make. Now that we've done the work, now that we've done the thought and the assembly, we can use this to do it better. What we could do is put this on top of a piece of paper and trace it all out. And that might work. But there is a little bit of imprecision here because we've cut this out before and taped it together. So, you know, if our tape line isn't perfect, if our cuts weren't perfect, if our angles here aren't perfect, we're introducing a whole lot of margin for error. So this is where the thing I made you comes in. Bear in mind, this was 2.5 inches. So one of the things I made you is a 2.5 inch square. So we're going to use that. What we want to do is cut that out real quick. And now we have a perfect 2.5 by 2.5 square. Now what we can do is, because we know this is perfect, we can use this as the template to draw it. We'll take a clean piece of paper like this, and we can very carefully trace on there. How's that? That's not good. That's not sharp enough. Sharpen the wood, sharpen the lead, there. That's stupid sharp. Here's what my thinking is. Instead of drawing all the way around, making it super perfect, I'm going to draw light lines for myself. I'm going to use the top edge. I'm going to use the top edge because we know that's perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay the ruler against there and then butt the paper up so that I know those 2 are even with each other. And then I'm going to put a line down the side, hold it down, put a line down the side, and I'm going to put a line across the bottom very carefully. And what's nice about using the thicker paper is it gives the pencil point something to draw against. So those are really nice, thin, clean lines. And now I'm going to come in with the ruler and touch them up. Okay, that's good. Now, since we know how this goes, we're going to say this is our top. Now we're going to come down and put in a wall. We just line this up super carefully. Now, logically, we know that this line should be in line with that. So we can use the ruler to extend the 2 together and make sure it's perfect. Keep your point sharp. Beautiful. need to add this guy. And if we did it right, we should be able to cut this out and assemble it. Let's try it. Here's what we're doing now. We're just going to cut out the perimeter. So we're going to cut the perimeter out here and not cut the individual pieces out. So it'll look like this. So now we have a solid version of what this was. And this is where it gets cool. We need to make sure we fold really carefully along these lines. And that's kind of up to you and your abilities. You should be able to fold square to square. And then press down the seam with your finger. This tool is called a bone folder, and it just helps press things down really nice and clean. But essentially, we're just going to fold all the sides in. And now if we did it right, we should be able to fold this up and make the same cube we did last time. And we did. Look at how much cleaner it is. Look at how much more perfect it is. Now we have clean folded edges instead of tape. So there's still some tape edges, but there's fewer. But what you'll notice is that we have way more clean joints. So that's a paper joint there. The paper joints are just cleaner than the tape joints. We can put tape on here and secure it to there, but we're making objects that just look better. Folded edges just look better than taped edges. So we're on our way to making things that are cleaner. I want you to turn this into a cleaner template like we just made. That's what I want you to do for tomorrow. I'm showing you how to make this by breaking this down and then using perfect templates to make a good folded cube. That's awesome. And you can do the exact same thing for the pyramid. What I want to do now is show you a different way of doing the pyramid. This isn't required, but it's just another way of working. I'm going to go over to the computer to a program called AutoCAD now. So this is AutoCAD. Don't worry about the interface. I can absolutely show you how to do this if you're interested. The way I work sometimes in the computer is this. Instead of drawing by hand, the computer will do it perfectly. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to start the line here. I'm going to go over 2.5 inches. Bring that line down. Then I'm going to go left, and then I'm going to go up 2.5 inches. I know that that's a perfect square. I know that that line is 2.5 inches. I'm going to draw a line up. That's also 2.5 inches. I'm going to rotate this line, and that's where we're going to rotate from. We're going to go 30 degrees. I'm going to draw another line that goes up 2.5 inches. I'm going to rotate 30 inches. So what we know is each side of that triangle is 2.5 inches, and all the angles now are 60-degree angles. We know that that's an equilateral triangle. These principles are easy, and I can teach you this if you want to learn. What's cool is I can take the shape we just did, and now I can print it. So here's the thing I just drew. And now it's the same as before. It's just a matter of cutting it out and folding it. The idea now is to fold it across the lines that we have there. We have a shape that comes up and closes beautifully. And then we just have to tape the top. It's not perfect, but it's better. All four of these are clean and nice. These are improved, but they're not perfect, and we'll get to perfect. What we've done is the same thing as last week, except we're doing it faster. So now that we have a good kit of parts, we can do it really fast. If we're using this thing, we can print out as many copies as we want and just cut them out. If we're drawing it out the way we did earlier, when it's in this form on the paper, you know, when it's drawn out before we cut it, you could take that to a copy machine and make a whole bunch of copies and then cut those out. So there's two ways of getting to the same thing. And that's what I want you to do for next class. We'll keep this video kind of short. You're making the same things you've done before, so we're not breaking ground there, but the techniques we're using are breaking new ground. And then what we'll do in the next class, we'll hopefully make these even better. So while you're making this, what I would really love for you to do is think about how can we do this better? We're introducing folds, but what can we do to make it an even nicer object? I have ideas, but I would love to hear what your ideas are. I just gave you a quick overview of AutoCAD, or the way I make these in the computer. This is not required for the assignment, but if you would like me to make a demo or a tutorial on how to use AutoCAD for this project, I would be happy to. I'm not going to do it if you're not interested, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. But if you're like, I didn't see that I had a bubble there. If you would like to learn, or if you'd like to learn the basics of how to use AutoCAD to make things like this, I would be happy to show you. Let me know. I'll put a poll below. It'll just say something like, would you be interested in an AutoCAD tutorial? If you are, say yes. If you don't care, I'll only do it if there's interest. For next class, do a folded pyramid, do a folded square. I want to see 2 pictures for each. I want to see a finished picture with details, and I want to see an unfolded picture. So I want to see your drawn out cutout form and your folded completed form. And then in the next class, we're going to take it even farther. Thanks for your time. Thanks for playing along with this. I really appreciate it. The work you're doing looks really good. So I'll see you in the next class. All right, thanks. Bye.